Alright guys, back with another F350 update. Sorry I've been quiet about this. I've been doing a lot of stuff to this truck lately. We just got it back from the shop. It's got new glow plugs and relays in it and a bunch of other mechanical stuff. Really the only thing that concerns me right now is that it looks like there's some black stuff floating around in the coolant. I don't know if it's oil or if it's just gunk that built up in there just for so long. We've already flushed the system once and put fresh in there. But there's still some black stuff, and I don't know if that's oil or if it's just old residual that's just been there. To the original owner of the truck, or the previous owner, I found a list inside that said head gaskets and intake gaskets. Here, I'll show it to you real quick. Don't know if this was a list that you had made, that you had intended to get done to this truck, or if it actually got done. If this will focus. Diesel Equipment Co. Right there, head gaskets, intake gaskets, and something else I can't really read. It's blotted out by mud. But I was curious if did you actually have head gaskets put on this thing? If not, they're probably going to need to be changed, but that's one thing I was curious about. If you know anything about that, just shoot me an email and let me know. Anyway, I'll go over some of the stuff that I've been doing to this truck. One of the most obvious things is new headlights. Put new headlights in, some white LED bulbs. They're really turning out nice. Over here as well. Now underneath, been working under here. I greased all these bearings right here, all down through here, so that those are not having any issues. Now over here, notice the tie rod is bent just in the slightest, and so I'm getting a little bit of a rub right there sometimes, but it's not anything critical. Okay, so in addition to the new headlights, I've also got new LED tail lights for this thing that are working out really good. Really impressed with how those are going. Got the back windows open, airing this thing out. I've just been cleaning the windows and stuff. What else have I done? Right now I'm working on a few things up under the dash. I'm trying to get the steering column is pretty loose, so I'm tightening that up. And it'll pop sometimes when I turn the wheel, so hopefully that fixes that. I'm about to put some carb cleaner on this pedal, grease these pedals up so they don't stick like they're doing. And do the same for the doors and cleaning the windows. I'm working on, amazingly this light actually still works, but I'm working on getting these lights fixed and the roof lights on top. I've got some lights in here I'd like to get running, but those are not critical. You guys probably can't tell, it's because it's pretty dusty right now, but I did wash the truck. I washed it, I put paint restorer on it, and then waxed it. And it's dusty right now because it's a pretty fresh wax job, and it picks up a lot of dust, so it's pretty dirty. But you can see if I just rub some of it off there. I mean, I could see myself in it when I got done with it. So let's see, I've got some brushes coming, some aluminum polishing brushes to put on my drill so I can go through and polish these things. These wheels are extremely sought after. These are the early style Alcoa bullet hole wheels, and these things are or I call them bullet hole. They're pretty sought after. Other things that I need to do, these brackets under here are pretty messed up, so I'm planning on welding a piece of steel on there, maybe 12 gauge steel, just welding it on there and straightening that out, so that I can get some support on these things. Eventually we're going to have the frame sandblasted and painted, because the rust isn't bad, it's not horrible, but it definitely needs to be addressed. So that's coming up hopefully within the next year to maybe a year and a half, we'll see. Like I say, we're just trying to make sure the truck is sound. I've been driving it a lot, and I'm about to, probably sometime this week, which I'll make a video on that, I'm going to pull all these seats, console, pull everything out of here and just vacuum this thing out and just wipe it down in here and really clean it up. So when I get the new carpet and the new seats in here, it'll be it'll be cleaned up somewhat. As far as seats go, I'm looking to probably get some 97 seats, or even 95 seats from a Bronco. They've got a little bit higher back on them, so you can have some support for your head. I love this bucket seat. I absolutely love it. It's just the most comfortable seat I've ever sat in, probably, as far as a car goes. So I really love that seat, and I hate to let it go, but unfortunately, I put this thing in the barn, this seat, I put it in the barn whenever I first had this truck at the house, probably 4 years ago. And I left it in there intending to get rid of the seat, but I was going to keep the bracket and put the bracket back in here and then put a new seat on top of that bracket to match that one. But what ended up happening is someone, I don't know who, ended up actually throwing the whole seat away. So the bracket that it sits on and the seat itself. The seat was no good, but the bracket was in good shape, and those aren't cheap to get anymore because they're kind of hard to find. Injection pump. This is a remanufactured injection pump right here. Throttle works. Remanufactured injection pump that we have. For whatever reason, the first mechanic on this thing took it off and put an older one on. I don't know why, but this is a perfectly good injection pump, and I'm definitely hanging on to it in case I have to change it at some point. I hope I don't, but if I do, I've got an extra one. Let's see. Just doing a lot of cleaning. I gotta get a newer roof light. These still work though. Gotta get a newer interior light so I can see. Got the door panels back on. He's got new window switches in here so the windows go up and down. Obviously I've got the window tint off the windows. So yeah, just one little thing at a time. Oh, and the other thing, I'm trying to fix that door so it'll shut all the way. This one shuts really good, and it shuts really smooth, and it's a nice, it shuts really good. You can see it's a nice even line there. When you shut the other one, it just doesn't shut all the way for some reason. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Yeah, just trash in there. Anyway, just working on cleaning this thing out. I'm finally legal on the road. I've got my tag and everything for this truck. So I'm legal. Oh, one more thing. I keep bringing things up. You can't think about everything you need to do. You just think about one thing at a time. Fuel sending unit. So that fuel gauge right there is not actually correct while I'm on the front tank. As soon as I go to turn the key, that gauge will just go to 0 or go to empty, and it won't come back up. That's normal for these switches because they're pressure activated switches. It's a pressure switch. Can't remember how much pressure they operate off of, but so that's normal for them to go back to the red position, but they should pop right back up to their actual reading, and that one does not. So the fuel sending unit is bad. Got a fuel sending unit on the way so I can actually read properly. Got to drain the rear tank. I'm not using it. I don't know what's in that rear tank. I just know the front tank is clean, fresh diesel fuel, so I'm just going to use that and not touch the rear tank for just yet. What was I going to show you guys? I think that's it. I think that's everything. Anyway, I'll make another video with it probably later this week once I get it all cleaned out and cleaned up. Just so I can get in here and, yeah, not smell bad. So anyway, that's going to be that for the moment. There's my Bluetooth mic. That thing has been really handy. So there's that. I'm going to polish those as well. Just lots of little stuff on this truck, but so far I'm impressed with it. I'm really loving this truck. It's been doing great. Runs like an absolute beast. Just a great driving truck. Again, the only thing I'm worried about is the black liquid in the coolant. There's not much of it, just a little bit, and I'm really hoping that it's not oil leaking into there. I'm really just hoping, crossing my fingers, that it's just residue that's built up in there from just sitting for so long. So I'll probably flush it one more time and probably drain the oil, put new oil in there, probably maybe after another 100 miles or so, and see what happens. If it turns out there is an oil leak into the coolant, we'll probably end up putting a new head gasket on there. But yeah, to the original owner, if you know anything about that list, or if you had the head gaskets or the intake gaskets that were put on that list, if you had that done to this truck, feel free to shoot me an email and let me know. That would be some valuable information. So anyway, you guys take care and see you on the next one.